Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter, and today I'm going to show you how to line a knitted purse. So I showed you a scarf I had started. This is actually it. I got bored with making a scarf and I decided that I would just fold it in half, sew up the sides, crochet a handle, and make it into a purse. I am a crafty ninja. But the problem with a purse like this is that it's very holey. So, and it'll also stretch out of shape because of the long stitches from our drop stitch stripe pattern that I showed you the other day. So what we're going to do is make a lining for it, and we're going to use felt. This is just regular old craft felt from the craft store, 29 cents a 9x12 sheet. And remove your sticker there. And what you want to do is use a chalk pencil and trace around the edge. And then you're going to cut this in half, and you're going to cut two of that shape out. And then you're going to stitch along the edges, and I used white thread here so you could see, and then trim it off at about 1/8 of an inch away from the stitch line. So here's what we have. We have our purse and we have our insert. You don't need to turn this because we're going to go right inside there. So the right side you're actually going to see when we open up the purse. You're not going to see any of those white stitches because that's the right side. So what you want to do is just kind of push it in there and block the purse out just the way you want it. Make sure it's fitting in there just the way you want. And then we're going to use just a plain needle and thread. You could maybe do this on the sewing machine, but I think the presser feet, if you have this up, would catch on the loops of your knitting. And I think if you had it so you had that against the feed dogs, I think that might snag it. So I think the best bet is to do it by hand. If you have any weird loops, that was another thing. I did make a few mistakes on this, so I was kind of bummed out. I didn't want to turn it into a full scarf because I dropped one of the wrong stitches and I didn't realize it till too many rows later. So I decided I was just gonna clip those loops, tie them on the inside, and make a purse. Sometimes you just have to go all crafty ninja. You just gotta. Alright, so to hide my my thread, so what I have is about 2 feet. It's doubled over and a big old knot on the end. So what I like to do when I have that is I'll go in between the layers, and I'm going to pull my thread just through the felt side so that I've trapped that knot between the knit and the felt. And the nice thing about felt is I don't have to worry about raw edges because felt doesn't fray. So what I'm going to do is simply do a running stitch all the way around the purse. Kind of keep your hand on the inside of the bag so you don't accidentally, stitch to the other side. You can make your stitches a little tighter than this, but this is going to be a kind of a light wear, light use purse. You may want to embellish it. One of my daughters was like, I think you ought to put a flower on it, and the other one was like, no, I think it's better the way it is. So you could maybe even put like a little piece of Velcro on somewhere, and then make little embellishments that are Velcro that can be added, or taken away if you don't want them. I would put the I think I'd put the fuzzy piece of the Velcro on the purse out and try to kind of maybe hide it a bit so that it could be used without an embellishment if you want. You can really feel this purse start to firm up as you go and you stitch. I decided to use kind of a navy blue thread because I was using navy blue felt, and there's several different shades of blue in this purse, so I figured my stitches would be pretty well hidden. And I'm having the lining go just underneath that crocheted edge. I did a crochet edge, so when I put my crochet handle in, I decided to keep on crocheting with the tail of that yarn all the way around so that I would have the handle would be on there really well, and it would give me a nice finished edge. And actually I ended up using up that ball of yarn, that half ball of yarn I had left over from a scarf I had done the other day. So it was like using up with no waste and having something finished, and it was a very quick project. So it was a win-win-win in my book. I was trying to see, the thing is I was trying to do the drop stitch pattern with my kids home, and I kept getting interrupted and talking to them, and I'd completely forget where I was. So yeah, it didn't work out as well as I had hoped. And I'm actually just going to keep on going until I run out of thread, until I have just enough to tie, because my stitches are spaced kind of far apart. This is just going to give me a more consistent stitch. If you're a better seamstress than I am, which doesn't take much to be, you can stop as soon as you're around once. And then when I do get to the end, I'm going to tie it off. I'll show you how to do that. I like to make sure I have plenty of room to tie. So I'm going to go onto the inside and pull up a stitch, Then I'm going to go down next to it, and I'm going to leave a long loop. See, I'm leaving a long loop, and I'm going to go back in. So then I have these nice 2 long ends to tie together. You know, I could probably hide it a little bit better, but I'm just going to tie many knots and then trim it off close. And I don't think that's going to come undone. I can put a little dab of glue on there if I'm concerned. A little bit of, I don't know, gem tack or fabric tack or something like that that's designed for fabric. And that's all there is to it for lining a purse. I like to tie it a couple times, like to be sure. Crafty MacGyver likes to be sure that everything is not going to come apart before it needs to. There we go. So there we go. Look at that. My fingers won't stick through anymore. My coins won't fall through. I've got a lined purse. Very, very easy peasy. Thank you so much for watching. Now you know what to do the next time you get bored while you're knitting a scarf. Turn it into a purse and then line it, and it's fabulous. Thank you so much for watching. Thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe. And until next time, happy crafting.